here's what's happening in Detroit. You had a district that was educating 150,000 students, and today it's educating a third of it. And what's happened is you spread all of these costs over a number of buildings that they can't afford to keep open, they can't afford to maintain, and they can't afford to figure out a way to deliver it.
So wouldn't it be the emerging financial manager's responsibility to look at this and say, well, just as they did in Algonac that I just learned, they consolidated. So wouldn't that be the EFM's responsibility to look at this and say, let's consolidate these various schools so we can district them so that we can maintain the building, that we do have proper resources going to the teachers, that we do have proper classroom sizes that's happening in these various areas, so we don't have one school with 10 kids in the classroom and one with 40 kids in the classroom.
And what's happening?
But isn't that the EFM's responsibility?
It is now. It's EM's now, but what's happening is EM is set to leave at the end of June. We put an 18-month time limit on it. That's all that they can be there. Here's what's happening. Every day that the teachers are not going to work and kids are being turned away from the school, those parents are going to continue to leave the DPS. So here's what's happened. The accelerated rate of departure from that school district, you can't even keep up with it fast enough. My guess is there's estimates that as many as 10,000 students may leave DPS just because of the current labor conditions. Now they might find parents will want to get their kids into another school somewhere. And what's happening is it's shrinking fast enough. So let's just assume if we have, you know,
would you want to send your kid to one of those schools with those conditions?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't stand for them.
Oh, no. I'm talking the building conditions alone, with mushrooms growing on the walls, ceiling tiles falling. Would you want your child in a school like that? I certainly want mine.
I have a question. Phil, are you denying that the parents support the teachers? Because by all accounts, the parents are pretty much majority supporting what the teachers are doing. Everything I've seen in the media, they're like, well, you know, we completely support what the teacher's doing. They're calling attention to this.
Okay, but
and not everybody has the wherewithal.
You framed it a different way, and I'm just saying that, you know, I get what you're saying about the, you know, attrition with the students and everything, but by saying that the parents are going to pull their kids out because they don't like what the teachers are doing. The parents are going to pull their kids out because the buildings are horrible. And also, isn't this real convenient for the charter school movement, because, you know, they don't play by the same rules, and, oh, we're going to starve the public schools, so we'll give you this alternative now. Isn't that really what it's about?
What do you mean starve the...
Come on, you know what it means. Starve the beast. Starve the beast since Reagan. If you don't like something that government's providing because you want the private sector to take it over, you first of all, you make the question, put the question in the public's mind. Man, this isn't really working for you. Then you make sure it doesn't work for you because you don't pay for it.
Okay.
In addition,
Detroit's one of the highest funded districts in the state.
I've had several politicians, one on an education committee, tell me that the end game that you're playing for is dismantling public education. I want yes or no. I don't want political speech, because I know you're very well connected with left and the DeVosses, and I know that that's their major objective in terms of education. So just give me a yes or no. Is that what you're for?
What's the question one more time?
Is your end game is
to privatize the public school system?
Your objective to privatize public education? Just yes or no?
Absolutely not.
Then why are you doing everything you possibly can to impose all kinds of laws that restrict teachers from doing their job? Why are you out really essentially blaming activist teachers for bringing these conditions to light?
I'm glad that they're bringing those conditions to light.
Why do you
but the reality is in Michigan, I'm not trying to silence them. We're just trying to make sure that the kids are getting an education that they deserve. And strikes have been illegal in Michigan.